Hello besties, it's Sav. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing my June monthly reading wrap up and my July hopefuls that I still haven't picked out yet. So we're gonna pick them out together. But let's start off by going through all the books that I read in the month of June. My reading month was kind of all over the place, which you will see. So let's just get started. So the first book that I read in June started off strong with my baby Queen Charlotte. If you guys don't know, I don't know how you wouldn't because I talk about it nonstop, but I am obsessed with the show Queen Charlotte, and it's like with the Bridgerton show, which I also love, but I just love the story of Queen Charlotte and King George. I ate it up, and watching it wasn't enough, so I had to read it, and I fully tabbed it, which that's how you know. If I took the time to tab it, that's really how you know. But I loved this book. I did rate it a 5-star. Am I biased because of how much I love the show? Yeah, probably yeah. But I don't care. It was a 5-star read for me. The love I have for this world and these characters is just, it's so strong. I love them. So 5-star read, what a good start to the month. The next book that I read in June was on my Kindle, and that was Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. I've heard a lot about her books, especially from the one and only Sarah Caroli. I had high hopes going into it, and I really enjoyed it. I rated it a 4.5. It's about a couple that are struggling, and they go on this like trip away as a way to try to like come together again, pretty much. But so many secrets get unraveled and so many things happen. It's so good. I binged the whole book in one night. I will say I was confused for a good portion of it. I just didn't really know where it was going or what was going on, but I kind of liked that, and I was trying to figure it out, so I was looking at every single little detail, so I was picking up on some things, and some things I was right on, but like the big reveal I was not. So I really enjoyed it, and I definitely recommend it if you are a thriller girly, or if you want to go into thrillers. It's a good thriller to start with. The next book slash series that I read in the month of June was the Mindf series by St. Abby. Yeah, St. Abby. I read all of them. They're all on Kindle Unlimited. It's 5 books, or you can buy it as one whole book. I think it's if you buy the physical book, it comes as one whole book. But on Kindle Unlimited, it's only the 5 books separately. You can count them as 5 or count them as 1, whatever. I read all of them. As a whole, the series is a 5-star for me personally. If you like Criminal Minds, Law and Order Special Victims Unit, if you like crime, true crime, any of that stuff, you will love this series. So the Mindfuck series follows Lana and Logan. Lana is literally a serial killer. Yes. And Logan is a FBI agent who happens to be working on her case. Obviously, he doesn't know that. She does. It all happened very, like, she didn't seek him out or anything. It just kind of happened naturally. But they end up dating. Serial killer, FBI agent. It's 5 books. It's so good. So good. 5 stars. I'm so glad that I finally read those books. Like, I understand now what everyone was talking about. I also listened to the entire The Summer I Turned Pretty series. I listened to them all on Audible, which I highly recommend that you do because the actors are the voices in the book. Like Belly on the show, I'm pretty sure, or she just sounds very similar to the Belly that reads it in Audible. So good, so good. I wanted to listen to the books because I had never read them physically, obviously, and the second season of the show comes out in July, and I never watched the first season because I wanted to read the books first. So I just decided to listen to all of them on Audible, and I've already binged the first season, and it was so good. Basically, it's a YA, and it's just such a cutesy, feel-good read. It's about Belly and her mom and her brother go to this beach house every single summer for her entire life with her mom's best friend and her 2 boys that she has as well. It's her growing up, and it's the summer that she turned pretty, and so everything's changing, and it's just such a cute, feel-good series. You don't have to think about it. It's like a nostalgic feeling. It's good. I recommend it. I definitely recommend watching the show, at least, if you're not gonna read it. Oh, I have to see the ratings. Okay, so the first book, I rated a 4-star. The second book, I rated a 3-star. And the third book, I rated a 3-star. We're not going to talk about how I felt by the third book. Okay, the next books I read in my Bookstagram Chooses My Reads video, if you haven't seen that. So the first book that I read was People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. I am so happy that I finally read this book. If you guys have been watching my other videos, then you know reading an Emily Henry book has been on my radar, especially for this summer. That was a huge goal for me. And I am so happy that I finally pulled, what is it? No, not pulled the plug. That's stopping something. I don't know. I finally did it, is what I'm trying to say. People We Meet on Vacation, this was a 4-star for me, a strong 4-star. I loved this book, and I loved it so much more than I thought I was going to. From what I had heard, I was not expecting to love it, and I did. I loved Alex and Poppy. I loved their relationship so much. This book, if you don't know, follows Alex and Poppy. They are both from Ohio. Shout out. Ohio represent. I'm also from Ohio. Anyways, nobody asked. So Alex and Poppy, they're from like a small town pretty close to each other in Ohio, but they don't meet until they actually get to college. They're very opposite, but somehow they become best friends. And they kind of struck up this thing where they end up going on vacation together every single summer for like a couple years. You're getting the current timeline and then the past timelines of the past years when they went on their vacations together. It was such a cute read. The scenery and the environment in this was just perfect. I loved their relationship. I loved like their friendship. It was perfect. I loved this book. I will say there were some parts that did drag out a little bit, and the timeline did jump around because it was going from a lot of different years, but I really enjoyed it. Let me be the person that says I really enjoyed reading this book, because from what I had heard, not a lot of people did, but I did. So I will be the advocate. I think you should read it. The next book that I read was Reckless by Elsie Silver, and that is the 4th book in the Chestnut Springs series. If you have not read this Chestnut Springs series, let me first just say you absolutely need to. It is a cowboy small town romance, and let me just say, even if cowboys or country isn't your thing, and even if small town romance isn't your thing, you will still enjoy these books. There's just no way that you can't. In my mind, there's no way that you can't. It is the 4th book in the series. It follows Theo and Winter. You meet both of them throughout the previous books in the series. It is a secret baby romance. Yeah. Honestly, I kind of feel like the oddball out on this one because a lot of people have rated it 5-star and said it was their absolute favorite in the series. And I love Elsie Silver and I love the Chestnut Springs series so much. Like, I cannot express how much I love them, but this one was not my favorite. With that being said, it was still a 4-star. Like, that just shows how much I love the Chestnut Springs series in Elsie's writing. Like, it's just so good, but the tropes just weren't my personal favorite. And she did them well, it's just not what I enjoy normally, but it was still very sweet, and I loved Theo and I loved Winter and I loved their story. So that was a strong 4-star. Yeah. The next book that I read was When in Rome by Sarah Adams. I was so excited to read this. It was a very quick, easy read. It follows Amelia Rose. Did you see me look at her name on the back? Because I forgot. Okay, so Amelia, she is actually famous and she is feeling a little bit lost in her life, and so she decides to go on a little trip based off of one of her favorite movies, I almost said When in Rome. That's the name of the book. She loves Audrey Hepburn and Roman Holiday, so she decides to go to Rome like Audrey did in that movie. But she goes to Rome, Kentucky, ends up in a very small town. She meets Noah. Like I said, she's famous, so very small town in her, pretty opposite. But it was a very sweet, cheesy read. It is cheesy, let's just say it. I rated it originally a 3.75 because it was cheesy, but I also love a good cheesy romance. So it was a cheesy romance, but it was also kind of exactly what I wanted. It needed. 4-star. I definitely recommend, and I can't wait to read Practice Makes Perfect in July. That will be one. Keep that in mind. That's going to be one that we say. The next book that I read was Shadow Me by Tahira Mafi. This is a novella in the Shadow Me series. I couldn't even tell you which one, to be honest. The third 3.5 novella? I think 3.5 novella. This one was from Kenji's perspective, which I absolutely loved because I love Kenji with my entire heart. Wait, yes, right? No. I read Restore Me first because Restore Me comes right after. Literally, what am I saying? What order did I read this? I read Restore Me by Tahira Mafi. This is the 4th book in the Shatter Me series, so I won't speak too much on it, but I absolutely adore this series so much, and I didn't know where it was going to go after Ignite Me, but it went somewhere. It went somewhere, all right. I loved it though. I love this series. I love these books. They're so fast-paced, dystopian worlds. Makes me feel nostalgic of like Hunger Games and Divergent and all of that type of vibe. But I love this world so much, and this was a 4.75. I loved this book so much. And then I read Shadow Me, I'm pretty sure. And this was a 3-star. I love this. I loved his point of view. I loved everything about this little novella. It was perfect. I just feel like I can't really rate novellas that much higher than a 3-star, you know, because it's just whatever. And the last book that I read, yeah, I had to think about it, was Beach Read by Emily Henry. Yes, I read 2 Emily Henry books this month, and I absolutely ate them up. Can you guess what's an absolute 5-star read for me? January and Gus. January and Gus. Gus Everett. If you are like me and are one of the last people to read this book, it follows January and Gus. January is a writer, and she goes to a beach house for the summer to write. And so is Gus. Gus is also a writer. And they end up at houses right next door to each other. How cute is that? 2 writers right next door to each other on the beach. They're both trying to write books. They used to know each other when they were in college. They haven't talked in years, and they end up right next door to each other, both trying to write their own books. They're writing completely different genres. January writes romance, Gus writes like kind of literary fiction, a little bit more on the darker side, just really opposite genres. So they make a bet to write each other's genres or whatever and see who can sell the book first. And it's just so good. There's so many elements to this book. I love this book. This was an absolute 5-star. Gus was an absolute 5-star man. I love him. The quotes in here. I can't. Moving on. So I read 6 physical books. I listened to 3 books, and 6 of them were on my Kindle because the Mindf series was in 5 different books. So I don't know if you want to count them as individual, but I had a pretty good reading month. Now let's go on to my July hopefuls, shall we? I'll be right back. I'm back. That took a lot longer for me because my camera died. So I had a lot of time to pick out my July hopefuls. Let's just go through them. So the first 2 are gonna go hand in hand. I want to read Book Lovers. I think this is actually going to be my next read. Look, we match. It's a sign. I really want to read Book Lovers by Emily Henry. This is the last one I have left of her books before I'm going to read Happy Place. This is the main goal here, but I do want to read Book Lovers first. So Book Lovers will probably be first, and then Happy Place will definitely 100% be read in July. Both of these will be. Yeah. I'm going to try and put Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune on here again. I had it on my June hopeful list. Didn't get to it, but I think it'll be like a perfect short summer read. Yeah, I enjoyed Carly's writing. Why did that feel weird to say Carly? I enjoyed her writing a lot in Every Summer After. I just didn't love the ending. That was my issue with that book. But I really enjoyed the setting and her writing. So we're gonna try again with Meet Me at the Lake. And this is also a for sure. I'm going to read Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. I loved When in Rome. Obviously, I talked about it on here. So I'm really excited to get to Practice Makes Perfect. I do have a book that I really want to read on my Kindle as well, and I'm so excited to read this one. This is Done and Dusted by Lila Sage. This is also one that I think I will for sure get to. I did just think of two more that I want to add because most of these, actually all of these, are pretty short length. I will be reading Defy Me for sure. This is a must. I've been doing at least one book a month from the Shatter Me series, and I'm obsessed with this series and I love it. And it's just always such a quick read. Like, I never read a book as fast as I do the books in the Shatter Me series, and I love it. I love it so much. And one kind of lengthier book, we're gonna add Things We Hide from the Light by Lucy Score. I have had this book on my shelf, I mean, since it came out. I had pre-ordered it before it even came out, and then it got delivered, and it's just sat on my shelf ever since. And I don't know why, because I loved I forgot the name. I loved Things We Never Got Over, and I don't know why, I just have never been in the mood for this book, but I've been hearing a lot of positive things about it lately, and I just want to get to it. And I have the physical copy, which is beautiful, might I add, and then I also have it on Kindle because her books are on Kindle Unlimited as well. I think I'm gonna get to this finally this month. I think since I'm reading Emily Henry, it's making me miss Lucy Score's writing too. I feel like they kind of write a little bit similar as far as like banter goes and everything. So these are what I'm gonna have on my July hopefuls. And Done and Dusted. I just don't have the physical copy. But that is all for today. I hope you guys enjoyed watching my June monthly reading wrap up and my July hopefuls. Hopefully, I will see you guys next week. That was so cringy. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.